Previously on Follow the Leader.
Today we're playing Protocol by Jim Pinto and Post World Games. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. Protocol is a series of story role-playing games that thrust characters into dramatic situations. Each game uses the same set of rules with vastly different parameters, start points, characters, and finales. Players take on the roles of directors outside the action and characters inside the action, using the ebb and flow of 4 different scene framing styles, vignettes, interrogations, interludes, and ensembles to tell meaningful stories about characters in crisis. We'll be using a custom playset that's set... well, you'll see.
I will be reprising the role of Marius, Thank the Gods for Small Favors, who uses they-them pronouns. They're still kicking around in the City of Gulls, although they're a bit older now. I don't know if they're necessarily a bit wiser, but
I hope not.
Statistically, it's unlikely.
Yeah. They've got a streak of gray in their hair. It looks very distinguished. It looks a little at odds with the streak of black in their hair, but that's okay. They still probably dress very formally and very reminiscent of their title of The Last Mage of Anukar.
So I'll be playing a character new to the City of Gulls, though not new to our listeners, Juniper Aurelius, a stranger to these parts, an older, dark-skinned black woman with silvery white hair, a gnarly scar from an old surgery perpetually peeping out of the top of every low-cut shirt she insists on wearing.
I am going to be playing a character new to FTL entirely. I am playing Experimental Verisimilitude Model 17, they/it pronouns, a robot, brassy, think TikTok from Return to Oz, but like stretched vertically, so not as squat or quite as round. But yes, has a crossbody satchel with a journal inside it, has I know this is kind of ripping off Bender from Futurama, but has an openable chest cavity, which holds some very well secured vials and experimental equipment within.
I am also playing a character both new to FTL and incoming to the City of Gulls. I am playing Keys, that's K-E''S. It uses its pronouns and also she, her, because I keep imagining it as I keep accidentally using those pronouns, so I think that it is like fine with the people referring to it with she, her pronouns. Mostly a robot android person. I don't have any like strict touchstones for its appearance.
Tell the people who you are, Zachary.
Well, to start, I must tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a very big man. He was the strongest and the coolest of the old people who were also all very big, until he was the last one because he was stronger and cooler than all of them. And then he was dead. And then some kids found his soul in a little sphere. And they talked to it. And they said, this guy is so cool. We need to get him out of there. And so they brought him to his bones. And they gave a little bit of blood. And it made an egg. And from that egg came me, Rascal the Brave.
I am keenly interested in Edward's reaction to this, too.
Yeah, you can kind of tell from the quote-unquote body language. If XV were capable of it, it would be crying at this point. That was the closest I have felt in so many years, feeling like I was being touched by somebody
Oh, buddy. Shit. God damn it.
Oh.
Well, goddamn, you managed to pull it off.
As much as we don't see eye to eye much of the time, I do feel as though we know each other fairly well. And in that knowledge, I was hoping to be able to find a piece of you that we could use as leverage to release you from this, and Marius gestures to XV.
You know, I wouldn't have trusted you before. But you've managed to survive this long. And do this much. Hell, if anyone's gonna be able to pull it off, it's you.
Shall we end the scene there?
Yeah.
Alright, everybody take your drama point if you haven't already.
I already did.
Already did.
We now return to your game already in progress.
Alright. Jade, you're up.
Yeah, it's me. Alright. All about those spades, apparently.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. One of the optional rules in the book, I've spotted it early, is if you get the same suit 3 times on 3 cards in a row, discard and draw again. So I don't know whether we want to do that or.
It's up to you. I mean, spades is another ensemble. I know we've just had one, so if you want to try for something different, I'm totally on board with discarding and drawing again.
I'm just gonna take these into my hand and then recall just those ones into the deck and reshuffle.
Okay.
God fucking damn that. Okay, well that can be the location. I've just drew another spade.
Incredible.
Ooh,
Ooh, a joker.
a joker. Okay. So I said I was gonna keep the spade for the location. So how do I determine the suit? I suppose it's red, isn't it? It's the red joker. So
So I think if I'm reading the rules correctly, jokers can be flashbacks or monologues.
But that doesn't give a suit. Whether it's a
Well, the
vignette.
suit would normally be scene type.
Yeah. And I suppose.
I think that
Yeah.
I think it
It's kind of
doesn't
acting as
have a
both.
suit.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
it doesn't have a suit, so
Yeah.
it would be flashback or monologue and then the location.
Okay. Spades is in the shadow of bones, and the queen is the end of the world. So, you know, that's fun. Flashbacks are an interlude or an ensemble scene from the past before the story began. The director determines the focus of the scene as well as the location. I think I'll do an interlude because I don't want to do a monologue. I don't want to do an ensemble either. I'm trying to think who this could be with. So we cut away from the city of gulls, out over the ocean, somewhere far, far, far away, not of this world, but entirely of its own. A massive factory behind barred gates. And it just pushes in further, as we see Juniper looking exactly the same as she does now, packing up a bag. And I think the sync is in as she's just rattling off the last of the instructions of how to look after the robots, or to how to get the best thing out of the robots if they start. Like when you leave your kid with a babysitter or your pet with a babysitter, like if they do this, do this. And if they do this, don't do that.
Miss Aurelius, you know I have ample managerial experience.
Yes. But how much experience do you have with children? Because that's really what we're talking about with them.
That is more of a pickle.
Yeah. Look, I have utmost faith in you. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up. Best foot forward. You know, every weapon in an arsenal, all that.
All that. And you're certain you must go on this odyssey?
If it takes 20 years, I'm going to be pissed. No, I mean, I don't have to. No. Do I want to? She pauses, like, is this something I want to do? Look, it's something we've been confused about. It's something we've wondered about, right? Like, what is it about this one place? Why don't souls come from there? I mean, what else am I going to spend my time doing? Done, like, and I gesture sort of upwards in the direction of, like, the managerial suite. I don't want to be around that right now. It's disgusting. The way they smile at each other. I hate it.
Sure, I see.
I feel like I'm intruding when they're just looking at each other. It's intense. I don't like it. I'm very happy for him. There's definitely been less fires. But at the same time, I don't want to be around this energy right now, at least.
So you're leaving me alone to deal with it.
You can ignore them. You could come with me.
Would you really, truly want to be out there in the wide world with me?
Is this just you angling for me to say something nice about you?
I've never angled for anything.
I can't believe you would look me in the eye and lie like that. When I met you, you were a lawyer.
Leading the witness.
Oh, you're such a... You
so much.
are one of the smartest, most dangerous people I have ever met in all of the lives that I have lived. And you are consistently one of the most compassionate. Of course, I would want you out there with me.
Well, unfortunately, the factory requires 2/3 majority to make any decision, and Mr. Bancroft is...
Occupied?
Yes. I was going to say distracted.
Both true.
Be safe out there, all right?
What's the worst that can happen? I'm already dead.
You and I both know, Miss Aurelius, that there are far worse things than death.
Yes, but we don't acknowledge them.
Once, then, for me.
All right. I will do everything in my power to be safe.
Fantastic. Well, I've brought some sunblock for you.
Where did you get sunblock? I'm happy to cut the scene there, to be honest, because I think that's just fucking hilarious.
Killed me. Killed me, Dad. God bless.
I love Dundee so much. Ah. Thank you, Zach, for indulging me.
Of course.
I appreciate you. All right. That's scene. Did everybody except Zach grab their drama point? You're in the scene, so you don't get one.
Oh, I'm in the scene. Okay.
I have now.
And hey, it's your scene now.
Yeah, a 10 of hearts and a 10 of clubs.
Oh.
Do we want to do yet another interlude?
Oh, you could do a vignette.
Do what your heart desires.
Yeah. I mean, you can make the heart the location.
No, this is good.
All right.
Mildly terrifying, but it's fine. 10 of hearts, we have an interlude, echoes of ancient battles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No wonder you wanted that one.
We have 10 of clubs as the location, in the wilds deep and dark, revelation seeking understanding.
Christ.
So,
Sometimes the cards in Protocol be spicy. They looked over at tarot decks and Spindle Wheel and were like, I want in on this action. Let's fucking go.
I have two thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
This could be Ed talking to Rascal, parallels about groups of people who are no longer here, or it could be an interlude with Keys, talking about the similarities between our deals and where XV comes from.
Well, Rascal will probably be in the next scene, for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
That is quite true.
I mean, also, if Edward was there, if not at the foreground, when Keys was like, oh yeah, I've been to Annika.
Mhm.
So I feel like it might be fair for Ed to have questions.
That's fair. Okay. That's fun. Yeah, Mac, you want to do this? Keys
Sure.
and XP? Yeah, I feel like this is quite shortly after Marius, the last scene with Marius and Ed. I feel like Ed is just relishing in having control that doesn't feel like he's breaking XV, and is going to hold on to it for as long as it feels not dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's gonna last long, because having thought for a second about what happened in the tunnels, he has come to a realization.
I don't like that.
Yeah. This TikTok-ass robot face and body.
Return to Oz, not the
Yes.
Hell app.
Oh.
It's weird to get the vibe that it looks angry.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So where in the wilds do you think we would have... Where do you think of the wilds Keys might have gone that XV might run into them?
Oh,
Or
I mean...
go to find them?
I mean, Keys could very much be anywhere.
Yeah.
Might still be in the tunnels, honestly, just on a different platform.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe there is a point where the subway went above ground. And maybe it's there.
Yeah, an overgrown, above ground platform.
Yeah.
Where you can just about make out what used to be. And yeah, you hear Ed talking to you. Slightly less distant than his voice had been before.
Mm-hmm.
You said you'd been to Anakar.
Yes.
When?
Oh, and she, like, flips back through the journal and is like, probably is Max saying, probably about 5 years before the fall? And I will put definite numbers on that one, even if we don't put definite numbers on our, like, current timeline. Yeah. Probably about 5 years before the fall. So the answer that she gives is an exact date that is within 5 years of Anakar's fall.
Yeah, and the reaction is relief, but at the same time, just like, oh, I kind of thought I was gonna get to smack down someone who was involved. Sort of vibes.
Yeah.
It's just this place. The way it speaks to me, it feels like the coming of the fall. And I don't know why.
Well, I don't think Keys knows what to say to that. Mac knows what to say to that. If you were interrogating someone else, they might know what to say to that. Keys is like, bro, I've been here for 2 days. I got nothing.
Damn, I need to draw diamonds so I can interrogate Mac, the player. So you weren't there for the fall. You didn't witness.
No. I think she has to think about it. She goes, oh, that's one of the gaps. So I don't know where I was.
Can your form smell?
Oh, good question.
This is an in-character question as well.
No, I know. I could tell that was in character, and now I'm like, I think no, but I can taste. The sensory input is similar.
Yes, but scent is so strongly connected to memory.
Oh, well, see, this is the difficulty, right? Is that my memory is not connected to any of my sensory inputs.
I thought it was worth a try, because if you had been there during the fall, I guarantee the smell would be the one thing that lingered.
Right. Yes, under what? Can I ask why?
Well, because the last thing I remember before I died was the thick smog I was choking in.
Oh. I'm sorry. That's a brutal way to go.
Well, I wasn't alone. And as far as we know, it wasn't you. I've been hoping for some kind of vengeance? Is that what a ghost is supposed to seek?
Oh, I mean, could be. Well, maybe you... I think she's trying to figure out how to ask this.
Uh-huh.
So, my memories are stored in a way that is easily corruptible, but that doesn't mean that it is necessarily gone. Perhaps, if we can find a way to access the corrupted information, there will be something there. Not that I'm necessarily saying that I was there, because I really don't think I was. I think that... And I think she kind of pushes up the sleeve of one arm and reveals that, from, like, half of her palm all the way to the elbow is flesh and blood. She says, I think I'd know. But it's possible that there's something that could Schrag help? Should figure out how to take a look.
There's a pneumatic hiss that is the robot equivalent of a sharp intake of breath. Ooh. That's new.
Yeah, Keys is not entirely a robot.
Ed has an idea.
Okay.
And he is going to pull from XV's ample chest cavity. That was not the way to phrase that.
It just opens up XV's titties.
Yeah. XV's massive bazongas. Yeah, the master notebook that is the list of things that must be done. And Ed's gonna recommend that Keys write down in this list, find Keys' memories. Because Ed suspects that XV will not actually recognize when it's being lied to.
Which is probably true.
About what its job is.
Keys, I think before it does this, Keys is like, do you think XV can help? Or is this something I'm better suited going to someone else for?
XV is very determined to get its job done. And, well, it's going to be more help than I am.
Well, yes.
I don't think I'll be helping anyone for much longer.
Oh, that's not good. Oh. We should figure something out with that.
And I think the button I'd like to place on the scene is... I think I would be glad to know that you weren't involved in the fall.
Me too. Good button.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna say straight up and down, Keys wasn't.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I think it's more interesting if Keys doesn't remember where they were, because some of the data in its memories of that time is corrupted.
We love a terrifying unknown.
Yep. Keys has got a lot of those. We love to have a robot with little pockets of amnesia, because all your memory is stored on flash drives, and whoop, you lost one. That's why she was about to pull one out to like show it to like Rascal and Marius, and then she was like, this might pull out like the memory of who I am and who I'm talking to. I don't know. So I don't want to do that, because that could cause problems.
Yeah.
Y'all want to check out my brain, LMAO?
But we can get into that in a controlled environment. I'm gonna BRB. Y'all
Sure.
can continue though if you want to. While I will be back very briefly.
Zach is not allowed to have a scene with Keys.
No.
Zach can have a scene with Keys. It just can't start until I get back.
Sure.
Yeah.
You might as well draw Zach, and you can at least figure out what you might want to do with your prompt.
Yeah. Let's see what I get. I've got the 5 of clubs and the 9 of clubs.
Cards want you to have a vignette.
Vignette. Wanted to minutes description that sets the mood or advances the story. Okay, yeah. 5 is the rattling of old bones. 9 is cold crystal light in the darkest of stone.
We simply cannot get out of the wilds deep and dark.
Yeah, the wild, deep, and dark. We in there.
For what it's worth, cold crystal light in the darkest of stone was very much a prompt thought up with the tunnels in mind, because it's long been established there's like big hunks of glowing crystal down there.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. In the wilds, deep and dark. The rattling of old Bones. Oh, okay. I got it. It's a vignette. So that's actually nice. We finally get a short scene.
Wow, dragged.
Podcasting professionals.
So we hear like Juniper's like, oh, this could be a subway. Keys. Oh, when's the last time a train has come through here? Rascal, this guy doesn't know about trains. As Rascal is kind of I was gonna skipping, but like kind of like hopping and like moving through the subway tunnels under the city of Gulls in the same kind of way that like cats who are like not sure exactly where they're going or like are like in uncertain footing or areas where it's like moving around kind of cautiously but quickly, kind of stopping often, moving like what's the word, tilting his head to listen, the rattling of old bones. You hear like the sound of like the like every so often the kind of echoes of the rattle of the tracks, which kind of sounds like bones.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going and moving and like going deeper and maybe further out from the city than he's gone. Do we have what's the kind of stuff that's down? There's crystals, glowing crystals. There's also train tracks or subway.
I don't know if there's tracks.
Rails.
There could be.
There's some track, I think, left, but there's not a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think all of these tunnels were once subway tunnels, like.
Because
But yes.
Because there's been a.
But he's going specifically for the ones that are subway.
All right.
Sure.
But sorry.
It's all good.
Continue what you were saying before.
No, I was just saying, like, the tunnels underneath the City of Gulls have been there since the Quiet Year. Like, but very little. Like, we have the odd interlude down. We've had the odd, not mechanical interlude, but we've had the odd scene down there. But they've largely been pretty unexplored. So there's nothing set about how far out they go. And it's entirely possible that the less organic looking tunnels and the more constructed looking tunnels, this could be the first time now it's been pointed out. Now maybe in retrospect there could be like, you know, a montage of previous shots in the tunnels and like what these caves actually were that some of these previous scenes happened in. But yeah, basically my long-winded point is that I think you can go ham. There's very little established that you're going to contradict. So.
Yep. I am going to spend a single drama point to add flavor, but I'm not going to spend it right now.
Okay.
It's just scene-setting flavor. Go ham.
Then he's and you hear like that, like kind of echoing, like, and he like every time he hears, he like stops and turns and follows it. And eventually, like we just see his eyes like burning little pinpricks in the darkness, lit by the crystals. He takes a crystal and like cracks it out of the ground and is carrying it like a torch. And every so often he'll like pull out his own little sketch pad, and he like dips one of his claws in a little ink, and like is sketching out like a rough tunnel map. And then he gets to a depot where there are these old like trains, these old subway trains that are like, I mean, just sitting here, laying here. Do we think that they're in rows? Do we think they're like are they like collapsed onto each other? Was there some sort of thing here where they're all like kind of piled up? Or is it like look like someone just walked away one day?
Mac, as the person possibly the most invested, I like the notion of them being like, when a kid, like, you throw away boxes of trains, like train sets, they sort of end up a little bit higgledy-piggledy, like piled on each other. I kind of like that visually speaking, that from a distance in the dark, you might think it was just like obelisks or standing stones or something that have collapsed, or part of a building that's collapsed, and it's only as you get closer you can discern that what you're looking at is this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some of them are wrecked too.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them, there's only half of the car left.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Rascal's kind of looking and sniffing. And he goes up to a locomotive that is still like one of the most, like, he like has to like push past some and like scramble under or over others, and finds one kind of like almost in the center that's like intact. It's like really like well preserved, and he sticks his thumb in his mouth and blows, and becomes very big in this tunnel here. And he takes his claw and he kind of peels off the top and finds the engine.
All right, this is the point at which I'm going to spend a quick drama point, because you talked a little bit about the smell of the locomotive. And I think that there is hints of that smell. We talked about scent as memory before. And I think that there are hints of this locomotive smell that you remember being around Keys.
Sure. And he, and then he just reaches in. He kind of runs a finger across the engine block, and like fiddles at it and feels at it, and nods. And he picks the train up and sets it on the track going back the way he came, and begins to push it back to the upper tunnels.
Tight.
That scene.
Love it.
Love that.
I am not sorry for making a Skimbleshanks the railway cat gag in chat. So that's back to Mac.
Yeah. Final round, y'all. Keep that in mind. What is with me with spades and clubs? Jesus!
I don't know. This deck is fucking rigged.
We've had 3 clubs. That'll be the 3rd club in a row if you want to discard the hand and pick up a new pair.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Alright. And then clear.
Am I ready? Am I good to
You're
draw
now good
again?
to draw. Sorry, my brain went to the Kansas City Shuffle. Lucky Number 11 is a great movie. But then I thought about the Coronant Shuffle, and now I'm mad at Zach again. Mad's, but with the positive modifier.
Yeah.
Listen to Sagas That's on this reach.
Y'all should. It's very good.
No. I will not.
Ooh.
Oh, man!
How do you get this?
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Beautiful.
this hand is so good.
It's so good. Tell the people.
Hold on, I have to go look at what the location is really quick. Oh my god. What the
That seems
fuck?
fine.
This hand is so good. I don't know what to do with this incredible hand. So the scene type is the 8 of diamonds, which is an interrogation, 8 being the stones remember. And the location is the 10 of spades, which spades are in the shadow of bones, and the 10 is revelation seeking understanding. Ah!
Well, there you fucking go.
Shit, I don't know what to do here, though.
Start us off, Maestro. This is we're coming down the track. Build the track.
Okay.
Build the
Yeah, unless, and to be fair, the flip of it is also very good. If you did want to do the 8 of diamonds as your location, which is cracked, revealing light within and transitory spaces. With
the spades, the 10 of spades being an ensemble echoes of ancient battles.
both very good and fun.
Actually, I do like man, I really I want to give the interrogation setup to somebody, but I also think that if we do this ensemble scene, we can break into Keys' memories.
Ooh.
Down for it.
I need somebody to show Juniper what Keys' memories look like.
Yes, please.
Or I need Juniper to be in the room when they start trying to... I guess if we follow up the scene with Exody and Keys, with them coming back to the professor while Juniper is there?
Yeah, I think, just to establish it happening in a later scene, if the robots get back, presumably this is, maybe this cuts away for the camera pans up from Rascal pushing this train through the tunnels, and the camera just pans up through the ground to Marius's space workroom, and Juniper is asking a loaded question that Marius might be really happy to not have to answer. And she's like, okay, so Professor, who is the oldest person in this city that I can talk to?
Marius kind of looks a little taken aback, and then they sigh and they say, it could go one of two ways, because Marius definitely knows several old people.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think they feel comfortable throwing any of them under the bus. Not that Juniper is a bus necessarily, but so I think Marius is like, I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay, if you're not at liberty to say who, can you tell me how old they are?
Quick flashback to the Sunderland when Sable said a lady never reveals their age.
Yeah.
Look, I was going to say, yeah.
Is this when there is loud clanking?
Yeah, this is when the robots come in.
Yeah, I was going to say, Professor, I am just trying to figure out why death is so weird here. And I figure if I can talk to somebody with enough mileage, they might be able to help shed some light on the matter.
Marius cringes and is saved from having to reply any further to robots coming through the door.
Yeah. And, they look clearly relieved, and they say, Keys. XV. What do I owe the pleasure?
Juniper squints at Marius intently, just like, bitch, we're circling back to this conversation.
The thing is, I don't know how. Maybe Keys just calls them memory drives. Or memory. I don't know. I don't know what it calls them.
I mean, it's part of them that presumably detaches. So it makes sense, like plot plugs.
Yes.
Or inserts. Or clips.
I think Keys might just say, do you have a way to access corrupted memory? I need a way to also alert Juniper to the fact that there is something very fucking weird and contemporary modern about this.
In the physical sense or the brain sense? Because as far as Juniper knows, Keys is a robot. So, but also has some weird stuff going on, because that's how Keys is sort of presented. That's the impression Juniper has got, which is why she's asking, like, are we talking about memory in the brain sort of way, in the metaphysical sense of memory, or in a physical sense?
And I think Keys shrugs off one arm of its big coat and turns, and embedded into its spine are multiple they're not USB exactly, but they're very similar in that sort of port to drive format. and embedded into its spine are at least embedded. Yeah, kind of.
Inserted?
Probably no, not that either. Plugged in closer. Probably about
Socketed.
8 or 9 of the memory slots have sticks in them.
Are those ports?
Something like that. I wasn't exactly privy to the modifications that were made.
That's upsetting. Wait, so those are physical memory?
Yes.
Like a flash drive?
What's a flash drive?
Oh, well, it's a small portable thing about the size of like a key that that can hold information that you access by connecting it to another device that can read the information that's stored on it.
Do those get corrupted easily?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, then yes, these are flash drives.
You have flash drives in your spine. Huh.
Be careful of removing them.
Wait, I'm removing one? What?
Well, if you were going to, I didn't know if you were going to. I can't see what you're doing.
I move, so
but-
I'm clearly in Keys' eye line. Like, hands up. Like,
I think it like kind of like shrugs the coat back on and is like, the trouble is that I don't know what of my memory is stored where, and I know that there are pieces missing. So obviously some of them are just straight missing, straight up and down gone, and some of them are corrupted. I can tell it like holds up the hand that is half flesh to like the side of its head and is like fuzzy, static, badly tuned radio. But I think that well, for lack of a better word, ghost of what was there is still there, but the only place that I can access that memory is, well, myself. But there might be something there to help. And I think it just like points at XV.
This sounds a bit like what XV might feel like to have me inside of it, if it cared.
right. The thing is, I'm really limited in what equipment I have with me. Even if I could like safely remove something without hurting you or causing more damage, I don't have anything that I can read it with. I wasn't expecting to have to do
Well-
maintenance. No offense. I did not.
No, none
No.
taken.
Deal's gonna fucking laugh at me. I said, why would I need this? I'm going to a place. I wasn't expecting there to be robots.
Well, it can't really hurt me.
If you've already got gaps, I don't want to risk taking something out and severing something important. Like, and Juniper looks like she was going to go into something of why you're supposed to eject flash drives and external hard drives and not just yank them out, and realizes that nobody here is going to understand what she is saying. So gives up before starting the sentence.
Which is wild, because, like, I think that Keys has internalized that,
Yeah.
but, like, it doesn't understand that that's, like, a rule of how you do computers.
Yeah.
Because, like, a bunch of her memory sticks were corrupted by just yanking them out without ejecting
Yeah.
them. Like, and I think Keys kind of just goes, oh.
Look, information's important, but not at the expense of losing more of yourself. I mean, if this is where Juniper makes the mistake of not looking around or listening to see if Rascal is nearby, because like, if I could take you back to meet where I'm from, I've got equipment that could maybe do that, but that would mean you coming back with me. I just want to leave opportunity for Rascal to hear that Juniper's saying to somebody else that they can come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rascal with his big old ears.
Okay. Rascal with his big old ears. Then I think the door kind of slams open. And Rascal is there. And he says, "What? Well, if you are going to go there, to the place, and then come back, because that's a thing that people can do."
Juniper face palms.
I think Keys is staring at Rascal.
"We will need a vessel.
Okay.
And I just found an engine."
What? What kind of an engine?
"This kind." Out, and like we cut to the fucking street outside of Marius's place, and there is a train engine in the street.
Oh, beautiful.
I think this is the moment in which I spend another drama point to say that, like, Marius probably walks out too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Marius hears Zephyr say, "Now, how the hell did he do that one?"
"I'm gonna make it into a boat."
I love the notion that Rascal works on Looney Tunes logic and just, you didn't see it happen, it just happened off screen.
Keys, I think, walks up to the train car,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like puts both of its hands on the car and says, "Oh," and then launches itself into that train car, baby.
"No, it's mine. Finders keepers." It runs inside after.
Incredible.
Because Mac just realized that you could probably MacGyver something together with this with the front of a subway car. In this world, the ports probably match.
Mm-hmm. And Rascal was he's gonna use the engine, but he kind of just build it into like the engine room of a new boat.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bit more advanced than a raft of logs, but he's a quick study.
I think he's is kind of like poking around the console, and then like sticks its head out the window and says, "Well, maybe you don't have to go that far."
Well, heck, come on. I just got the thing. Come on. We gotta go somewhere.
I'm not going to take this from you, my friend.
No, but you're taking away an opportunity.
Am I?
Well, because if we don't have to go, then why am I get the thing?
I'm trying to figure out how Keys is saying it. How Keys says this. I think she says something like, "Well, no one's stopping you." I'm certainly not stopping you from leaving. Just a little delay for a while. Does Juniper come up into the train car to see what Keys is talking the fuck about?
Oh, yeah, no. On seeing the, partial train car and engine, this is the most modern tech she's obviously seen here, so she's all about it.
Yeah. And I think this is modern tech in the way that, early...
Oh, I'm imagining, early subway trains. We've had the subway in,
yes.
London since, the Victorian era. There's been underground trains.
I'm thinking about early Boston Green Line shit, fucking trolley system.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit runs on wires and cables and shit like that.
Yeah.
I was looking at electric diesel engines.
Yeah.
Whatever this is what was there at the end of a war that had robots in it. So
yes,
it's aesthetically old school, but mechanically more advanced.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, But yeah, like really boxy.
I'm trying to reground this for Juniper in not the 21st century.
No, I was thinking like early 20s, 30s sort of style underground stuff was what I was picturing.
Fabulous.
Hell yeah.
But
I think that we can kind of. I don't want this scene to drag all the way through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think we can kind of button that scene there.
Oh yeah.
To be continued.